Hey guys, what's up? How are you all doing? Sorry if I haven't uploaded for a while. I took a short vacation with my family, so I wasn't able to make any videos. But now everything's good. Thank you so much for waiting. And by the way, the mic I ordered has finally arrived. I'll be picking it up soon, so maybe next week I'll be uploading my first video where you'll finally see my face. I'm actually a bit nervous because this will be my first time ever doing live streams, but even so, I hope you guys will still support me. Honestly, it's been quite hard for me to write scripts for my videos, so I think going live will be better that way. I can just be myself and talk naturally without needing to make a script. And yeah, just wait for it soon, you'll finally see my face. Now let's get back to the topic. Honestly, I wasn't planning to make a video about this, but I've been seeing a lot of players still doing it. You know, those players who try everything they can, but still end up on a losing streak. The thing is, they already know what they should avoid, but they keep doing it anyway. That's why I decided to make this video to talk about it once and for all. One of the things you should avoid is staying too long in a bush. Just like what you saw earlier, I got caught because I stayed hidden there for too long. It might be fine if you're using a mage or a hero with strong burst damage, but for most heroes, staying in a bush for too long just isn't a good idea. Next, try to avoid using Layla, especially when the enemy has an assassin like Amon. You'll get picked off so fast before you can even react. I know there are a lot of Layla users out there. I'm not saying you should stop using her completely. What I'm really trying to say is that Layla is just very easy to kill, especially when you're up against assassins like Lancelot. You'll really have a hard time surviving against them. Layla is more of a late game hero, so in the early stages it's tough to stay alive and deal damage effectively. I noticed that the enemy team was already taking the turtle, so I went there right away. I also tried to use my ultimate on Cho, but my damage wasn't enough to take him down. I was about to back off, but I told myself maybe I can still steal the turtle, and luckily I actually managed to steal it. I also saw that our tank already used his ultimate, so I decided to join the fight and went after their mage. Good thing I managed to take them down too. Here's another example of what you should do in your games. If you see a chance to invade, just go for it. If you feel like you can take the enemy's jungle creeps, then do it, don't hesitate. This is really important because delaying the enemy jungler can make a huge difference in the match. It can give your team more control over the map and put pressure on the enemy early on. And for all the roamers out there, try to avoid forcing those so-called perfect sets. You know what I mean, because honestly, there's no such thing as a perfect set, maybe for pros or top players, sure, but for players at our level, that's not really realistic. Let me tell you this, even if you manage to catch just one hero, especially a damage dealer, that's already a huge play. I see a lot of roamers waiting for that perfect 5-man setup, and when they finally engage, there's no follow-up, and that really hurts the game. So my advice is simple. If you're a roamer or a setter, don't wait for the perfect moment. If you can catch even just one important hero, go for it, that's already more than enough. And for all the EXP laners out there, avoid staying in your lane for too long. I know it's fun to get all that EXP and keep fighting, but don't forget that your jungler also needs your help, especially when the enemy starts invading. They really need you in those moments. Don't just keep staring at the map. If you see an invade happening, be alert and rotate right away, especially if it's happening near your lane. And for the mid laners, I'll be honest, I don't have that much knowledge when it comes to playing mid. I don't want to teach something I'm not completely sure about, but there's one thing I can say. Try to avoid clearing the lanes that you just rotate to. I see this happen a lot, especially when mid laners rotate to the gold lane. Once the enemy gets picked off, they immediately clear the wave. That's something you should never do, especially before the 5-minute mark. Because if you do that, I'm sure your gold laner or EXP laner will get mad, especially if they die and you're the one left in their lane. So when you rotate and your team successfully picks off an enemy in that lane, don't stay there. Leave right away and go back to your lane or return to mid as soon as possible. Before we continue, I just want to say something to everyone who's been requesting heroes for me to use. I really want to play them because you guys requested it, but I'm really sorry I haven't had enough time to properly practice those heroes yet. But don't worry, maybe in the future I'll be able to use them comfortably. Right now, I've just been splitting my time between preparing for my streams and going live, so please be patient with me for now. The next thing you should avoid is not pushing properly. Pushing is very important, but you can't really do it if the enemies are constantly defending. That's why my advice is to try split pushing instead. But before you do that, you first need to learn how to read the map properly, and honestly, a lot of players still don't know how to do that. For example, if the enemies are gathered at the top lane, try to push at the bottom, and if they're at the bottom, go push the top lane. That's what we call split pushing. By doing this, you force the enemy's attention to split up, making it harder for them to defend or respond. It's all good, because in my next video, I'll be showing an example using a roamer. You know, a lot of players still don't really know how to roam properly, so I'll make an example to help explain it better. So make sure to watch out for that in my next video. I honestly can't help but laugh at this Hellcurt because I've already picked him off several times in this same bush. He just keeps coming back here over and over again to get his buffs. The problem is, it seems like it never crosses his mind that I'm still here waiting. This is one of those examples of players who just don't learn, even when they're already being taught a lesson. And don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to brag, I just really want to help other players improve their gameplay. But of course, it's still up to you if you want to follow what I'm saying or not. I can't force anyone to believe me, and honestly, I'm not that great of a player anyway, so even if you don't believe me, that's fine. As long as you're learning something when you watch other content creators, that's already good enough for me. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you don't forget the lessons I shared in this video. I really appreciate you for staying until the end. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and let me know in the comment section if there's anything I missed. Thanks a lot, and as always, keep grinding.
On the battlefield, noble blood won't be
Our turret has been ready. Ally has been slain. An enemy has been slain.
I'm your guide to the underworld.